Y'all know what time it is. It's time for more outdoor karate.
Oh no. Nope.
Scratch that, let's do some attribute training.
Yup.
Boom, welcome to another episode of Attribute Training, guys. Today we're going to be going over a couple of different joint locks and a couple of different joint manipulations. But hold up, Bob's got a noodle. So since we're doing joint manipulation, we're going to be attacking different parts of the body and using pain compliance and leverage tactics. So it's important to remember a couple of things if you're working with a partner. Start slow if you're working with a partner you care about. While on the receiving end of painful manipulation, make sure you tap. Remember, the art of joint manipulation is brutal on my partner and technical in practice. So it's important to make sure that we move slow with our partner. I cannot reiterate that enough.
Wait, hold up, man. I can't really tap.
Yeah, I know. When in the process of tapping out, it's important to physically make contact with the partner that is applying the lock or maneuver. Because if I simply tap myself in a classroom full of everyone tapping, my partner's less likely to know that it's me tapping and assume it's just another member of the group. So please, tap your partner. Tap out! First joint manipulation we're going to do.
Yo, tap.
Shoulder lock. Basically taking the elbow, bending it the direction that it wouldn't go. The positioning for this is going to be we're both facing the same direction and my opponent comes up from the side, grabs my cloth, and gets me to go with them and do something that I don't want to do willingly. So what I need to do is first of all pin so the arm stays in place, and this also allows me to get kind of a solid base here. I like to add a softening technique by striking the face if necessary, but after I pass, it wraps around the arm, and then as soon as it comes forward, it bends forward. Let's practice that a couple of times in the air. Whatever side the opponent is on, my opposite hand pins their hand to my shoulder. I wrap my hand circling backwards to wrap behind their elbow. From there, I would essentially do an uppercut motion going forward from my hip outwards, and this will get my partner to move in a way that they don't like. If I was working with a partner, I would not be able to do that without absolutely destroying their shoulder and elbow. So make sure that I stop right here. That's why it's important to move slow and have my partner tap out. Take an arm of your choosing. Point your elbow away from your center line. Now point the same hand away from the center line the other way. It's way less likely to happen because of the mechanics of my body. That's what I'm forcing upon them during this meeting. In this scenario, he's grabbing my wrist. So similar to a lot of joint manipulation, I'm gonna pin his hand to what he's already grabbed anyway. Now he's not going anywhere. I step forward to the inside, basically looking at the bottom of my hand, creating a bend in his arm. Should look something like a Z. From here, I re-grab with my wrist. Notice how both hands are on his hand now, and then I twist downwards, snapping the wrist into. I'm essentially getting grabbed on that same side. From there, I take my non-grabbing hand and I pin it to my wrist. As I step forward, going with the pull, I invert my elbow. Inverted just like that, while maintaining grip. That same hand re-grabs their wrist and then bends down. To empathize with what the opponent is going through, make your arm outwards, point your palm away from your center line, and create a Z. From here, point your thumb downwards towards the ground, like so. Feels pretty natural. Now, point your pinky towards the ceiling. That's unnatural. That's essentially what I'm doing to them while sitting down and taking them down to the ground through pain compliance.
Yes.
I love karate! This next one, I can't even see him. He's grabbing me from the back. So it's important to not do this on just a friend that's coming up and patting you on the shoulder or trying to spook you. This one's called an armbar, and it looks like this. On this one, me and the aggressor are facing the same direction because he's coming up from behind me. We're not doing a crisscross grab. We're doing a straight arm grab. So he's taking his right hand and putting it on my right shoulder. Ayah! For this next one, to empathize with what's happening to the opponent, I simply take one arm, put it out, and put my thumb down. Now, take your hand and simply bend it. Very nice. What I'm doing to the opponent is I'm trying to keep my thumb down, and push your elbow to the ground that way. Can't really happen. So that's exactly what's happening to the opponent when I'm down, simultaneously while they're getting dirt kicked in their face and getting hit from various angles. Shabam! Whatever shoulder gets grabbed, I look over that shoulder, that steps back. That same hand re-grabs. the opposite hand comes and smashes the backside of their elbow with my forearm as I step with that same side now. From there, I step behind with my first foot and I take them down. Using my square as a reference, I stand at the front of the box. Whatever shoulder's getting grabbed steps back to the middle of the square. I continue to turn over that same shoulder and I step to the back of the square with my other foot. The one that's in the middle now goes to the side of the square that's behind me. So now I have that motion. Anyone feel like we're dancing yet? It's kind of like we are, but just with a lot more pain. Like bone break dancing, or rip hop your arm. Was that a hip hop reference? Yeah, your first one was better. I hope your partner's still tapping! Next one is from the back when he's grabbing my shoulder. Looks something like this. Oh yeah, how do you think they feel on this one? Not good. What's essentially happening to the opponent is they're grabbing me right here. By putting my arm here, I'm forcing that elbow inside, giving them access to my wrist. I'm sliding my hands up on the wrist as I step backwards and yanking their arm downwards. So it's a kind of a bendy, twisty motion, and then there's also the intense pain in one's ego when they get pulled to the ground by someone lesser stature. Notice like in other joint manipulation scenarios, my opponent is facing the same direction as me. He's grabbing my shoulder on the same side. He's not crisscrossing. I'm pinning his hand and I'm turning towards the hand that's grabbing me. From there, I step back and I wedge my hand on his elbow, thus creating a bend in the arm. From here, I take the outside so my right shoulder touches his right shoulder, creating a bend behind him. From here, I step backwards and he ends up falling to the ground. That's a cool one. In the air, this one looks real funky. See, yeah, I told ya. Remember, it's okay to practice, but make sure that we are going slow with our partners. And for the love of all that is holy, tap, tap, tap. You think they know to tap yet? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see you next time on Attribute Training, guys. Hooah! We hope you enjoyed today's video and we'll tune in to more. Every time someone subscribes to our channel, a Bob somewhere gets arms. Help out this poor dummy. Subscribe now! Have you subscribed yet?